Then we do the Duke drill. Now the Duke drill, again, is the girls, the first time, probably January 29th, when we do Duke drill, my team will literally, they'll scream, they'll jump up and down, they'll be so excited. So here's midfield. We got 4 girls across the top, and we got 4 defenders there, and we got a coach here, and I roll out the ball. Any of these girls, I say I roll it out to this one. The girl that's on her has to run, touch midfield while they play a 4-on-3, and then that girl can run back. So if I roll it to this girl, she's going, she's going, she's going, she's going, and they're playing 4-on-3, and this girl is sprinting and then trailing and hustling back. That's much more game-like than just putting 4 lines of defenders, 4 lines of offense, 3 lines of defense, and saying play 4-on-3. Because a 4-on-3, much like a 3-on-2, lasts 5 seconds in a game, max. But now you've simulated this trail girl, and the trail girl is looking for the ball, looking for the open girl, where can she help? And we'll put this one on it. This one will last 7, 9, 10 seconds. If they don't score, tweet, we blow it up. But guess what happens? Inevitably, these girls fill in. Maybe they're not behind the cage. Maybe they're right in here and there, and one's on the ball, and one's there, and guess where the trail girl's trying to get to? Right there. And if she doesn't get to it in time and they pass it, they have to learn how to slide up, slide over, and slide back, and now the trail girl has to learn to pick up the other girl. But that's kind of how we build that in. I'm going fast because he put me on the clock. Does that drill make sense? Anybody have any questions?
Hey, Jay.
I
put you on the clock because you said you wanted to do this for 45 and then take it. So then you have more time for questions.
I'm good.
You're good.
All right. Any questions about this? And
So
again,
where
the
do you
girls
start?
just know it. Yeah.
Sorry, where did you start this again?
I was here, and I rolled the ball. If I rolled it out to this girl, then this girl has to go to midfield and go down.
Okay.
And if I roll it to this girl has to go, and we play 4-on-3.
Okay.
Okay?
How far apart do you start them? 10 yards?
We literally take the whole field. So like if the draw circle is like right in here, these 2 girls are over there, almost where the boys would line up for a face-off. You can put them anywhere you want. Okay? But the girls love it. It only takes half the field. We have to share the field with the boys. So we're doing half field practices all the time. This only takes half field. It's good transition work. It's also good, even though I'm not talking about offense, it's good for your offense because your offense has to think about, okay, so I was open, now I'm guarded. Where did that come from? Who's open? Travis can talk about offense in a couple of hours. But we love this, and we will do this. This is a drill we will do 2 to 3 times a week all season long. The other thing I want to talk about, sorry.
The distance between the girls and the line.
So these girls are right at midfield, and these girls, I know I drew them behind, I guess I should. These girls are right in front of the restraining line.
Okay.
So it's a good, I mean, this girl's running about 12 yards to get to midfield.
So you got some conditioning built in.
I'm telling you, it's conditioning. I'm not even talking about all the things you can do with your offense out of this. It's defense, it's transition work, and it's game-like. Because again, that 4-on-3, if you play, okay girls, we're going to do 4-on-3, and you do it for 30 seconds, it never lasts 30 seconds in a game unless, however many cards that would be to get down to 4-on-3. But 4-on-3, 3-on-2, 5-on-4 in a game only lasts 5, 7, 8 seconds. And so, and again, while this group is going, and they're playing down here, you got lines of girls that are filling in. So as soon as this is over, I've got a little stack of balls right here, and I'm rolling one out, and the next group's going. And depending on how big your team is, these girls have to run to get back in line just to fill in the drill. Anything else on this? I'm not going to talk about clearing, but I just want to emphasize the fact that, again, your attack does have to learn how to play defense also. And you have to teach your defense how to transition into the attacking mode. You've got to teach your defense not to rest. As soon as the goalie makes a save, be gone, because you don't want it to be, oh, okay, we stopped him and kind of watch. You got to go. Think about that's your chance to get the ball and get it up and down the field. We do a drill with our girls, and we're the Wildcats, so we call it the Wildcat drills, not the original. But where we're simply clearing the ball out. We'll have lines of defenders here, even though it's an O, it's a defender. And we'll put our attackers out here, maybe start with just 4 of them. And, you know, work on clearing 6v4. And our clear is not real hard. We just have girls go to spots, like fan out, and then the 4 girls have to figure out how to guard that. We'll have the goalie, they have to throw it to a low girl first, and then work the ball up the field. And then eventually, we'll add a 5th or we'll add a 6th attacker. But that's how, I'm not going to go into that too much, but that's how we emphasize our attack does have to play defense also. We do some things where our defenders are getting the ball. Your defenders, a lot of times, maybe you think you're going to put a girl on defense because her stick skills aren't good enough to play offense. That happens, and actually that's okay. But you still got to do some drills every now and then. She may have super quick feet and just be a maniacal athlete and all kinds of aggression, but she still got to do some things where she works on thinking like an attacker, getting the stick in her hand and moving the ball up the field. Or use her to set screens and be a decoy. Never been good at convincing a girl. Your job is you're going to be a decoy. That's never a great way to present that. But I do want to emphasize the best thing you can do for your offense is make your defense better. So anything you're doing in practice to make your defense better is going to yield results on the other end. So how do we teach team defense? We start in a package that we call help and recover. And help and recover starts like this. We will literally start with a girl here, maybe a girl over here, defense, defense. This girl has the ball, and we just talk about how to slide. So we'll have the offense, we'll tell them for a day or two, you have to go 70, 80%. And she's going to go to this side, and we have this girl slide while this girl's on ball. And what you'll notice a lot of times, you have to teach kids the right position to slide. Otherwise, you will screen your teammate, and that girl will just keep on going. I can't tell you the perfect screens that we have set in the last 15 years on our own team. Okay? So we've got to teach this girl, you slide to where the ball is going, not to where it's been. This girl is over here, and they want to slide over here as if they're going to help. No, if she's going this way, you've got to slide and step up and block her path. And again, that slide, if I'm this girl back here, and I see the ball coming, I'm sliding up, my stick is up, but as I get closer, I'm breaking down my feet, and then we'll have the offensive player try to throw this pass. And guess what? They complete it a lot. But our defense is successful if they have to throw a pass this way. If they're able to throw a pass this way, we talk to the defense. Your stick wasn't up, it wasn't in the right place. The only way, if that girl is going this way, the only way she should be able to get the ball there is to lob it. We love lob passes because lob passes allows you to get away with more on defense. You can have slower slides if the attack has to lob their passes. If the attack's zipping the ball, then your slides better be on point. And so we'll do that 2v2, then we'll do it 3v3, and obviously we'll build up from there. We will start by doing it actually without sticks, because we'll just talk about body position. I made an investment, I guess, 12 years ago in some old, cheap, like $10 STX shafts, and I put medical tape on both ends. So the next thing we actually do is have the kids play with shafts with no heads, because as soon as you put heads on there, they think about checking and doing other things. And they may not play defense, they may not do this drill with actual stick with heads on them for a couple of weeks. They're just doing the footwork and they're just working on hand position. And then we'll let them add a stick. The other thing we'll do, again, to make it realistic, when you do small drills, you got to give them small spaces. So when I say we do 2-on-2 here, notice I told the girl she had to go this way and we had to do this. I don't just say play 2-on-2. And when we play 3-on-3, we'll add a girl here, but tell them they cannot cross the middle of the field. So we do what's called split field 3v3. We'll have 3 offense and 3 defense on this side, 3 offense and 3 defense on this side. I stand right there and blow the whistle, and if any girl crosses my nose, the drill's over and we go to the other side. And we can start with the ball down here, we can start in the middle, we can start with the ball up here. If you're doing drills with small numbers, you got to do it in small spaces, or the girls are going to get some bad habits. Okay? Another drill we'll do, we do a couple of things to teach the defense to slide, then I'm going to stop and ask for questions. So sliding and the idea of helping, of course, girls just want to be responsible for their girl. They don't want to be responsible for anybody else. Boys do that too. So one way to get kids to slide is we'll play games. And we'll do it 4-on-4, for example. It doesn't matter where the people are. We call it an add-one drill. So what we'll do is I'll give the ball to the O's and say, play, you've got 10 seconds or whatever to possess the ball. And then I'm standing over here with a line of extra girls, and I'll tell one girl, just go. We add one. So it's 4-on-4 for maybe 6, 7, 8 seconds, and then we add this girl. Well, of course, she's open, and usually the entire, there she comes, like they all scream, like it's a big secret, okay? Of course, that makes the defense react, because they're like, everybody's screaming, and so they're trying to find this girl, and someone's got to realize, it doesn't matter who, maybe the ball was there. So now that girl's got to slide, and this girl's got to be aware of 2. Or maybe the ball was down here, and now that girl's got to slide, and that girl's going to be responsible for 2 over there. But making it, again, game-like, that happens in a game, right? You've got a settled situation, maybe the other team subs, or maybe a girl's just late coming down the field, or maybe they switch an attacker and a defender across the restraining line, and they've got to be able to find and pick up that other girl. So that's the add one drill. We also have a down one or minus one drill, where we'll be playing 6-on-6 or 7-on-6. Oh, my drawings are getting worse as I go through. But, you've got 6 girls playing, and we'll number the defenders. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have them play for 10 seconds, and then a coach will call out a number. 5! Regardless of where the ball is. Even if you're on ball, if your number is called, you have to run to the restraining line and run back. So now you were playing 6-on-6, everything was nice and fair, and all of a sudden coach said 5 and that's you. You've got to run, and what you'll find is your girls figure out pretty quickly when they're running back, my girl might, they're communicating now because they don't want to get beat. We keep score on a lot of these drills. They don't want to get behind. So again, it simulates, it's a 6-on-5 or a 7-on-6 for maybe 5, 6 seconds. And if offense doesn't get a shot and she gets back down and settles it in, we'll call out another number. 2! Now 2's got to run up. And again, you can, as a coach, realize if you know who your numbers are. Every now and then you can start by doing it with girls that are way off ball. But then every now and then really mess with them. Girls on ball, you call 2, she's got to leave, and now they've got to figure out who's got to pick up the ball. I'm going to stop for a minute. Questions? Yes, sir.
So what's your lingo or technique for off-ball position?
As far as, I don't know if we have lingo. Off ball, we want the girls to be as big as possible. And depending again on what kind of defense we're in, we'll usually tell them to have their stick in the passing lane. So if the ball's there and my girl's right here, I'm going to stand here like this with my stick in the passing lane one way or the other. Okay? If we're playing a zone defense, our stick will be to the inside because we want to keep the ball from outside the 8. But I want the girls to be as big as possible. Usually that means sticking it in one hand. Maybe you've got a girl that can catch it with one hand. They always say, well, coach, if it's in one hand, they throw it, I can't catch it. That's okay. Knock it down and go. Pick it up off the ground and go. But as soon as you do this, think about all the space you lost. So I want the girls in the most of the time playing with one hand off the ball. And we tell them all the time, get big. Sticks up, get big. Every now and then you'll see a girl, the ball's way over there, and she's guarding her girl in the crease, and she's like this. You want her to get big. You don't want her being, depending on where she is, 3 seconds, but as big as possible, and her stick, wherever she can be the biggest nuisance. Okay? Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
You said something about keeping score during practice.
Yeah, we'll do drills all the time where we'll do, even if we're just doing scrimmaging 7-on-7, every time the offense scores, it might be worth 2. Every time the defense clears it to the restraining line, they get a point, and we'll play to 7. I mean, the more things you can do in practice, the way we started when we were doing the footwork drill, I mean, we do the best footwork when we're competing against somebody, and they get mad, and you know, keep track. If you win 2 in a row, then you match up with another girl that won 2 in a row, and so they're always, you know, trying to find a way to get better. But even in your scrimmages, keep score. You got competitive kids, and if they don't like it, I mean, they're going to keep scoring the game, so keep scoring practice. Depending on your team, you'll find the right formula. And sometimes with our JV, you know, we'll do something where if they score a goal, it's worth 4. And if the defense clears it out, they get a point. And the defense will moan and groan, and then they realize that the JV offense can't score, and you know, they'll end up getting the points they want. But you know, we do things, so we'll do segments, and everything's got a point total. And we just found it, you know, the girls get fired up about it a little bit more if they're keeping score. Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear you mention anything or probably much about as far as contact
Yeah.
when the person is on ball.
Yeah. So again, we'll teach contact a little bit when we're doing the breakdown drill, because we'll have the girls work on the out stick. First, they just have to run up and they have to have their hands up. And that's awkward, you know. They don't want to touch anybody, so we'll tell them sometimes if that's you, make fists or whatever, as long as you're not punching. And then they'll add the stick. And again, we teach them to do them with the bottom hand. You know, I lost my slides, that's okay. I think the feet are so much more important. Maybe we emphasize that too much, but we're emphasizing footwork a lot more than we do contact. And again, we try to call fouls in practice. You know, earlier in the slide when I was talking about being on ball, we talked about locked elbows. If your elbows are locked and that girl comes into you, you got a much better chance of taking a foul, because your reaction is going to be a little bit more dramatic. If your elbows are loosey-goosey and she comes into you, no official's calling that a charge. At the same time, if you're off balance and you're leaning on that girl and she moves away from you, your feet don't move and your arms do that. And I'll have girls all the time say, "Coach, I didn't push her, they called a push." And I say, "That's right, you didn't, but your elbows were crap, and so it looked like a push." Oh, okay. So, you know, officials call what they think they see. They don't know what they saw sometimes. So if my elbows are loosey-goosey and she moves away from me and I try to hold on to her making contact, now it looks like I pushed her out even when I didn't. So we talk about locking elbows. I really try, and you know, this may be a fault, but we do not stick check, and we try to de-emphasize the body contact as much as possible. I'll tell a funny story and then Doug's going to throw me off the stage. I actually realized this was a problem with us about 5 years ago. I had a girl that played low attack, and she was phenomenal. She's the kind of girl, you just get her the ball, and what are we supposed to do? Just watch her. We'll be okay. She had her physical her senior year with her doctor. She went in the room. The doctor started checking her out, and the doctor, about 5 minutes in, told her mom she had to leave the room. And her mom left the room, and the doctor turned and said, "Taylor, can you tell me about those bruises on your arm?" The doctor thought she was being abused, really. And her arm was purple, blue, and green from elbow to shoulder. And when she told me that, I'm thinking, you know, I've got kids, and the truth is, I could have sat there and said, "Wow, you know, so-and-so did that to her, or I remember that game." But she practices with us, because I'm a nerd and I keep track. We average 55, 56 practices a year. We only have 18 games. So it's 3 times more likely that she got that from us in practice than she got that from an opponent in a game. And so I think 5 years ago, that kind of made me realize maybe we're a little physical, especially down on the crease, and we need to emphasize some other stuff. And maybe that's why we gave up a bunch of crease rules last year. But I think it's important to emphasize the footwork first, and then the other stuff. If the feet are in the right place, if the body's in the right position, usually that solves a lot of those other problems. One last question. How'd I do on time?
You're awesome, Doug.
Okay.
We, for those that came in